Alright, let's have another go at this nonsense. See, if I can figure out what on earth is going on. So, sometimes I'm slowed down. I'm slowed down at certain spots. No, I'm not. Is it a time-based thing? I honestly cannot tell. I just know that this is not good level design. Very not good level design. And I don't know why the designer thought it was a good idea. Oops. Well, that goes one of my 3 attempts. Oh boy. So, this is going to go terribly. I'm just going to have to redo everything I've already done all over again. Why were you there? What were you... Why? Yes, I've got not much to say because this is a really, really, really bad level and I need to concentrate. And there we go, that's my 3 attempts. Oh boy. I'll return once I'm back there again, I suppose. Okay, it doesn't seem to take too long to replay the last 2 bits to get back here, but you know, it's a bit of a fiddle. Now I've got 4 attempts, that's slightly more than last time. Can I figure out what on earth is going on? Nope, apparently not. Not in the slightest. Is it going to come kicking out towards me? Oh, of course it is. Oh. Oh, Fufta. Got past there. That means next to nothing at the moment. Oh. Thanks for going away, Charlie. It's much appreciated. I'm sure you can tell. Now this seems to be basically restricting forwards movement, while backwards movement is not much worse. Is that the end of that? Please, oh, it's the midpoint. Well, that's at least a bit good. And the fire flower is very, at least a bit good. So, Now, I really cannot figure out what on earth is going on, but things seem to be moving relative to each other rather than relative to the land. So, like, it's probably all vanilla and layer 2 and stuff, but gosh, is it confusing. So confusing. And I wish it would go away, but that looks to be the end of the level. Phew! At least that was short. I'll give it that much. I'll certainly give it that much. Does it lead to a save point, or has it not bucked the trend of... Leads to a save point. Nice, good, nice and good. Now let's just beat the Fufta. I can actually move nicely and properly. I keep saying Fufta, it's just, to me that's the word I say when I am relieved. That is the word of relief which I say from my mouth. And that was a slightly confusing green springy thing. And that was stupidity. Inevitably. Well then. This is probably going to end up being a very little progress sort of an episode, but never mind. It's at least physics is done. At least we don't have to do physics anymore. At least we have dropped the subject. Even though I'm doing it for A level, but you know, it dropped the subject. In terms of this level is a subject, I'm still sort of adjusting to the actual good normal physics again. It's quite scary, I suppose. You've already seen this level, I'm sure. If you've watched a previous old video, you don't need to see it again. But that doesn't mean you won't see it again, because obviously you're watching it right now. So it turns out that that green switch nonsense all the way up there is not for the secret exit, but is in fact just for a dragon coin, and that is the end of the level, and I am quite glad, and now we're moving on to do World 5 all over again. And it's, you know, it's World 5, that must mean it's more than halfway through the game, technically. And when you're more than halfway through the game, then it begins to get difficult, so the secret exits, I'm sure, will be getting harder and harder to find. But anyway, Cemetery Fortress, I can't remember this level at all, even though I only played it a few days ago. Alas. So what happens in this fortress? Can I remember a single part of it from before? Can I remember to play? Well, no to both. What am I doing? Okay. I made it out of there alive, at least. That's a plus, that's a bonus, that is a good thing. And that is not a good thing, that's called jumping straight into a ghost. And, yeah. I could say I didn't have a ghost of a chance there, but that would be a terrible pun, but I said it anyway. Doesn't really count as a pun, does it? Still, it was a terrible thing to say. I'm afraid I shall not say it ever again. Until needs must. The thing about needs is they often must. That's the point of needs. That's why we use the word need as well as the word must. They are similar words with similar meanings. However, needs must is a phrase which uses both of them. Right, it's got to be past the midpoint. There was nothing there in that first room. Is it another one of those, you need a cape, so come back here with a cape, or you need a Yoshi, come back here with a Yoshi sort of a secret exit? Because that would make a bit of sense. I mean, yeah, it's not. I'm complaining about design choices here. It's not a bad design choice, really. Because, I mean, they give you that stuff in the other levels, so, I mean, there's not really a problem with using stuff you've been given. It's not cheating to return to an old level and you start select to leave. That's the thing that has been programmed into the game. That is the thing that we can do when we're playing this game. And then you end up with strategies for where to find the easiest cape and, you know, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, it's this level. I remember now. I remember where the secret exit, I think, is probably. And for it, I shall need a shell, and there's a shell. That shell, I just node it. Somehow. Let's use the word node in slightly confusing and non-correct manner. Yes, indeed. Here's where we need the shell for. And it leads up there. Right, that ghost will be getting quite in the way, so let's try and coax it elsewhere. Okay, that jump wasn't as hard as I was thinking it was, but I kind of slid around over there, not quite sure how that happened. Let's give this another go. I think it's a fortress, so it should save once we've completed it. And complete it I intend to do. Complete it properly, both exits, not just the normal exit which I started with. But yeah, now I'm doing the whole get all the secret exits thing. That is what I shall continue to do. That is my job as a human being who does things. Right, this jump is probably going to become slightly problematic, but it's not too bad. That slightly was a bit bad. Let's bring back at the fortress. One slightly pointless game over and 2 extra lives later, and we are back at the fortress. Let's speed this all up because, you know, you've seen all this nonsense. When I call everything nonsense, nothing is nonsense. Everything makes perfect sense. What are you on about? That, however, does not make any sense whatsoever. I'm just playing lazily because I thought I could, hey, I just got hit, that means I could use my invincibility time wisely and just run through everything as quickly as possible and then end up dying because it ran out. Yep, that is the cleverest way I know of playing. Must be why I'm so good at this game. And that somehow didn't work. Right. Let's not take anything for granted and just spin jump. And be careful as careful. Oh, that was not very careful. I think you are misusing the word here. Misuse of words is everyone's favourite paragraph written by a man we like to call, not a man in fact, but a woman, but whatever. Oh no! Spin jump is a very useful feature which they've introduced just for you in this game, called Super World Mario. It is very important, for it allows you to jump on enemies which in past games, such as Mario 1 and Mario 3, but not Mario 2, because you sort of jump on everything in that game, which you couldn't jump on games enemy. And now you can, but you can't jump on lava because lava is still lava, but you can something because something is still something. Precision is the work of a precise person, you could say, without really knowing what the word means. Right, now that midpoint was slightly useless, but at least it hopefully means that I'm not going to be as stupid as possible, and in fact am going instead to figure out what on earth is going on in this world of ours, getting hit by the same thing multiple times, and then dying to a simple enemy because you forgot to press the jump button. Let's have another go. Will anything interesting ever happen? Tune in next time to hear many things happen in many, many ways. Featuring the voice of Leonardo Caprivinci, assuming that he is willing to pay the £700 million entrance fee. What am I doing? Something which ultimately did not result in disaster, but very nearly did. Thankfully, nearly and actual disaster are not by any means the same thing. That jump is a lot easier than it is scary. No, it is very easy and very scary is what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. Is this the same boss? It's not. This is an actual boss as opposed to a sort of gauntlet thing, I think. And there are very slightly visible boo lasers, which I need to try my best to avoid. Which I'm not sure I'm able to do at the moment, because they are very, very difficult to see. And there we go. Thankfully I made it through there, and thankfully I don't have to redo all the other stuff in Aquaria number 4 all over again. So I can just, just oh, I've got to do something else, oh no! It didn't even save. What sort of a land do we live in where it doesn't save after a fortress? What sort of a land do we live in when the word save has only one meaning? Which is, of course, as we all jolly well know, the word save. Now let's go into all sorts of metalinguistics as to whether a word and the meaning of the word are in fact the same thing or not. People seem to agree they're not the same thing. Not quite sure how they came to that conclusion though. Just sort of bounce over along on this guy because, I feel like it. And I just didn't feel like it for much longer because there was another one heading in the opposite direction. But what can we do in this strange, maleficent world we might or might not happen to be living in? What does maleficent mean? It's like mellifluous and maleficent. It is two words in wrong, yes. I think that is in the business known as a portmanteau. However, portmanteaus are not the same thing as toes, but you didn't need me to tell you that. They are highly different aspects of the same general functionary formula, which one might or might not have established during the days of King Alfred the Great himself, back when the only people who knew how to play the carousel were the king and a very lovely 3-up, which means I don't have to be terrified of getting a game over anymore. I'm sure King Alfred would be as proud as I am. Is this a Switch Palace? It's a secret. It's a secret to everyone. What do you have to say, text box? Welcome to the Forest of Depth. It's a deep forest. All those who enter abandon the hope of not entering a deep forest. I suppose that counts as funny if you're not too picky. Oh, it is kind of funny, I suppose. It's just a forest level. It's very similar to the forest levels of the original game. I'm surprised I didn't get hit once in that circumstance of confusion. It is the most confusing of circumstances. It's that one bubbly level in the original Forest of Illusion, which is also World 5. Thankfully it seems to be quite, so far, at least, quite a lot easier than the previous... Can I go in here? Where does it lead? It's a reset. That means I've got to do Koopa jumping over hot tar. It's quite a comfortable exercise, I'm sure, if you're not interested in being comfortable while exercising. Also, I hope this is a secret that actually saves after you beat it, because if it's not, that would be more questionable design decisions, seeing as how much you've got to put yourself through in order to get here. I mean, there is a lot of work that must be done in order to get to this sort of place. And I don't want to have to redo this entire episode all over again like I had to redo the other previous entire episode all over again in order to reach whatever I had to reach. Let's try and not die to a slightly off-screen man called Koopa Paratrooper, and I just jumped into his face because I forgot what I was doing. Let's try not to forget what we're doing in this world of forgetfulness and immemory. Is that a word? I think it's a word. It's time immemorial is certainly a phrase, so immemorial must be a word, so immemory also should at least be a word. If it's not, I don't blame you, Mr. Word-making person. I guess I'm as much of a word-making person as anyone else. Oh dear. Looks like I'm going to have to redo everything all over again. Well, see you all next time, maybe or not.